little tricky to get to set. This looks like yours is too heavy. There we go.
There we go. Perfect. I think we're gonna have to get closer.
Hanging out in Sunseekers.
We are hanging out on the patio, waiting for the sun to set in like another hour and a half, and we haven't done a live in quite a bit of time.
We're not.
We're not on the more quieter side of this, so you may be hearing some background noise. But yeah, we just wanted to come hang out and say hi, maybe talk about some of the stuff that we've done this week, what we're doing in the future. We've been meaning to do a podcast and we just have not had a chance.
Yeah, we don't really have a place to set up to do the podcast.
So this week we are down in Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
Went to the pool today. That was fun. I rented a cabana and probably should have texted Tia and be like, hey, jump on the live.
Yeah, so you rented a cabana.
Rented the cabana for the day and it was a fun day. I got a lot of sun and it was like pulling teeth to get the kids out of the pool.
Yes.
As is tradition.
It was a fun experience.
And the pool cabana stuff too, interestingly enough, the cabana itself was $610, which was insane. And I have done several cabanas before, and typically that money goes towards your food and beverage minimum, usually at most places. Not here. No. Anything you order is like above and beyond that $610 that you paid. And they wanted me to tip before I even got to the cabana, which I thought was interesting because I don't really know like what type of service I'm gonna get even before I get to the cabana. So I didn't. I was just like, $610 is enough to be paying for this shed that I'm gonna sit in. And I ended up ordering about $90 worth of food and drink, which is a lot, considering it was a kid's cheeseburger, a kid's chicken tender. I ordered myself one drink. The cooler in the cabana was stocked with sodas and waters, and it came with a fruit platter, which the kids ate all of the watermelon in like the first 5 minutes. So I ordered a shrimp cocktail and a hummus plate, and I think there were like caprese sliders, and that was it. And that was $85, which is insane. That's like a lot of money on top of the $610 that I paid.
So let's talk about Sunseekers a little bit. So there's some good things about it for sure. It's a really nice property. It's new, so it's nice and clean. The room we got is massive. I mean, for a hotel room, it's probably one of the biggest ones we've had.
I've had apartments that we've lived in that were smaller than this place.
So it was really nice in that aspect. It's dead though. There's a few people here this weekend, but during the week we saw maybe 5 or 6 people all day doing stuff around here. As you can tell, we're on that kind of noisy side.
We're on the very noisy side.
We tried every restaurant except for, we didn't try everything in the food court, but we have tried the food court. We tried every restaurant on property. So there are some good ones here. They're just kind of expensive.
Yeah, the steakhouse we went to a few nights ago, that was actually really good. We had a porterhouse that we shared between the two of us.
It's a ribeye, I believe.
It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was
Tomahawk
a
ribeye.
tomahawk ribeye, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And it was huge, like Vegas big, I guess is what you could say. And they cut it like they do at Peter Luger's, where they like cut it and then they give it to you. And then he did like a Salt Bae thing on it, which I thought was kind of funny.
He did like a butter and rosemary, like he slapped it with the butter and rosemary.
Yeah.
And then he did the Salt Bay salt thing.
And before he put the rosemary in the butter, he lit the rosemary on fire, which I thought was an interesting touch. To each their own. But the truffle mac and cheese that we had,
amazing.
That was probably, I hate to say it, but that was probably my favorite thing about the meal. The steak was good too.
The steak was tasty though, yeah. The steak was really good.
And then we got shrimp cocktail like as an appetizer, and they gave us 3 shrimp. Granted, they were large, but I've had bigger. But they only gave us 3, so it was like, it's kind of interesting.
Then we had the tiki bar here, the tiki hut. It was tasty. It's a good little like fast casual place with seafood.
Yeah.
It was good.
I got a fishbowl drink there, and this was like we had just gotten here, we unloaded our stuff, we wanted to get food. It was the only restaurant that was still open. And so I ordered the fishbowl drink, and the girl looks at me, she goes, "Are you sure about that? It's 96 ounces. I was like, there's 2 of us here. If I can't finish it, he'll drink it. And one of us, maybe I'll take it back to my room, I don't know, or I'll just leave it. Like, I'm gonna pay for it regardless. But she was very, very judgy about the fact that I... Sorry about that. My blood sugar's high. But that's life.
And then we had the Allegiant Sports Bar tonight, which we've been to Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, so that was definitely another place we've been to. But it was Allegiant Sports Bar. It wasn't bad. It was a sports bar. It wasn't the greatest, but it was a nice sports bar.
I could put the camera further back.
It's fine.
Yeah, then we'll have to shout even louder.
So again, solid food. I would say the steakhouse is a little expensive. It's weird. If you've never been to Sunseekers, it's basically in like a fisherman's, for lack of a better term, because we went to Fisherman's Village last night, but it's a fisherman's village. It's just fishing around here. That's all it ever was. So it's kind of a strange juxtaposition between the resort and everything else here. Because everything else outside of here, most of it's like fast food. There's some local restaurants, but most of it's like fast food.
It's quite literally sandwiched between Port Charlotte and Punta Gorda.
Yeah.
Like, we're right in between the two. You go over the bridge this way, and it's Punta Gorda, and you go back this way, and it's Port Charlotte.
Yeah.
So we're, like, right there, and yeah, that's pretty much all this place ever was. Decades, going back decades upon decades. It's fishermen at night. It was actually hit pretty hard, too, during the hurricane. The dock that's right out here underneath is still destroyed. Last hurricane season, they haven't really put that together.
Yeah, I mean, there's things here and there, like there's boats over there that are still topped over.
The fun thing we did tonight was we did a scavenger hunt.
They call it seek and find.
And the security guard questioned us.
That's what we were doing.
And we were like, dude, we're doing a scavenger hunt that's put on by this resort.
Yeah, like, I've never heard of that. So we literally have to pay. We're like, yeah, here's the 6 spots we have to look for. It's like, wow, that's short. And it's like, yep, it is, but we're doing it.
I'm like, it's made for kids, probably, but...
Check out it'll be on our shorts on YouTube, too. Check out our TikTok, too.
We got to edit that coming up here.
Yeah.
So we did that tonight, and tomorrow we're going to a kid's birthday party, so that'll be fun.
Sure.
So much fun.
But yeah, I mean, this place has been nice. We went to Fisherman's Village last night.
Mm-hmm.
We had some more seafood. We explored that area. The weird thing is, when we were doing research prior to coming here, 99% of the videos that we were watching were just AI.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really get like a really good overview of what people are doing here. There was a big speedboat on the water. That's just scooting. But yeah, and so there wasn't really much to go on. We went there. It was like a mixed community, right? So they had the businesses on the bottom, and then they had, it seemed like hotels, but I feel like some of them were actual like monthly rentals on the top. And that was just interesting, just kind of like seeing this. It's like off of big, well, I should say big, but it's off of the city, which is really small, and yet they have this little community there.
Yeah, there was a couple of restaurants down there, but also like several of the restaurants we could tell had closed, and majority of the shops closed at like 8 o'clock. which I thought was interesting. That was kind of weird that like most of the restaurants had like closed by the time we had finished. And now we are in a moment of zen, y'all. We went from like road noise to like just one car going across the bridge. That was weird. But yeah, the upstairs supposedly had suites.
Yeah.
So who knows, maybe we'll check out Fisherman's Village next time and see what their suites look like. Because in the picture, they made it look kind of like this place.
Yeah. Wow, it's a loud truck. And the reason why she says that is because we like it here, but the hidden fees have significantly increased. Like, for instance, last time we were here, we got a massage, the both of us. It was about 300 and something bucks. This time it was about 700. So there's a bunch of like hidden fees that they're now attaching to things. She went to the cabana. They quoted her $500. When she went there today, they had an extra like 150 bucks to it. So there's just some weird goings on being shut down.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense like to tack on these extra fees. Like, it's not helping anybody. It doesn't go to the people that you think it's gonna go to.
But so that's the kind of like the red flag that's sort of coming up. I mean, it's still a great resort because it's new.
Yeah.
It's really nice and really clean. And again, there's not very many people here. We went down during the week. We would go down to the lobby, and they'd have probably anywhere between 3 and 4 people working like valet and stuff in the lobby, and there's no one here, like at all.
Yeah, it's been weird. And then just in the last 24 hours, there's been like an influx of people checking in. But even still, we maybe see five, maybe 10 people at most at any given time. So it's not like any other resort where it's like super busy. It's kind of weird. They do, so because we're staying on the suite side this time, the last time we stayed, you can go to the channel, there is a video of the hotel itself. We do have a video posted of Sunseeker, of majority of the hotel property. And in that video, we do kind of allude to the suite side, but we didn't really know a whole lot about it. But because we're staying on the suite side, we do get free sodas, we do get free waters. They're supposed to have free snacks, but majority of the time, the only thing we find down there is pretzels.
Yeah.
Occasionally they have chocolate chip cookies, which is great, but those have been few and far in between. In the last 24 hours, we have not been able to find more chocolate chip cookies. And I don't know if it's like a Monday through Friday, like there's not that many people staying here, so we'll put out the cookies. But when everybody's staying here for the weekend, then we'll put out the pretzels. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. They also have an espresso machine down there, but we have one in our room. And then it's a lot smaller of a lobby on the Sun Suite side versus the main hotel side. So if you're interested in seeing what the actual property looks like before we put up this video, I would go check out that video at some point.
Yeah.
And we only stayed for 3 days that time.
I feel like the lobby on this side is more of like a hangout space, whereas the lobby on the other side is more of a kind of get you in, checked in, and then go to like the food court or something, kind of like situation.
Very Vegas-y.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tell they took some cues from Vegas. They've done some things that are definitely inspired by Vegas. The thing is, it's not Vegas though, because there's nothing around it. I mean, that is the biggest flaw of this place, is that there is nothing around it. So even if you really enjoy what's here, like there was an Italian restaurant that's already closed. There are stores that were clearly meant to be there that are closed already.
The charcuterie
downstairs,
place
the charcuterie place and the food hall is gone. So it's just like it's clearly struggling, and there's nothing around it that'll bring it up. Yeah. Now, apparently, according to what we heard, the property across the way was supposed to be a big sort of place like this. They were going to build another sort of all-inclusive resort thing. But once they hit some snags here with the hurricanes and stuff, then apparently the people across the way backed out. So it's still like pre-piped. You can see the piping and stuff for the sewer and stuff is over there. But it's pretty much just abandoned lot across the way.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So what have you enjoyed the most this week?
I think just the room's really nice. It's nice and spacious, and we get a ton of sunlight. It's really well sort of put out, so I just like hanging out and just enjoying it.
Same. It does suck being on this side though. You are really far from the pool and a lot of the other restaurants and stuff. It's quite literally, we are as far on one end of the property as you can get, and the other side is all the way on the opposite side.
Well, we are close to the fancy restaurant, so the fancy steakhouse we are really close to. Everything else though is pretty far away. The Elysian is about halfway between us and the sort of hotel-esque place with the main stuff, but that's kind of it.
I didn't mind Elysian as much tonight as some of the other places, but I did get the feeling that they were pushing us out.
Yeah, which was weird. It was empty. But they really were trying to like get us out for some reason.
We were like, okay, I guess this isn't a sports bar where we just order drinks and hang out. We've got TVs everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, one of the weird things they had were recliner chairs.
Yeah, that was strange. People would actually sit in the recliner chairs and eat dinner.
Like, if you've ever been to a dine-in movie theater, it's like that. Except it's a lot brighter and you can see your plate of food.
Well, and there's no like tray to go over your lap. You're holding the plate.
True.
So you have it's like a house. It's like sitting in your recliner at your house, but there's a bunch of TVs in front of you, which is nice and all, but at the same time, you're just eating your food over your lap.
Yeah, it's like, I could do this at home.
So what have you enjoyed here?
At the resort itself, honestly, I enjoy the room. The room's been nice. What we did this week, I had fun going to the museum. So we did a couple museums this week.
We did the Dolly Museum up in Tampa, and then we did the Ringling Brothers Museum in
Bradenton?
Sarasota? Yeah, Sarasota. Yeah, I think it's Sarasota. Both of those were really good.
Yeah, the Dolly Museum, I would say the only thing disappointing about that was half the museum was under renovation. So we didn't get to see half of the museum.
Yeah.
And we weren't really sure what was in that other half
Yeah.
of the museum. That was probably the most disappointing part. And then we went to the Ringling Museum, which I didn't know is technically owned by Florida State.
Yeah, but it's the Florida State Museum.
Because they have a circus.
I think it's part of it, but yeah, I think it was gifted to them a long time ago.
Because they were the only entity that you could gift to, I think.
So we went to the house, and the house is under major construction. I'm guessing the last hurricane, it took a little bit of the house with it, you know. It's got this gorgeous marble deck that you couldn't go on, but they are restoring it. The self-guided tour wasn't as good as the individual tour I had back in the day, because it's like interesting. The first door you go through is a 24 karat gold solid door, and they don't even mention that. Like even the person who's handing you the stuff is right there and doesn't say, hey, this is really cool, check this out. Nothing like that. It's just
you're going to
there.
go on a self-guided tour, and it will start here and end here.
But then you get in there, and a lot of it's empty. Like there's a lot of dead space where they've clearly taken stuff out, like made room for things. But it's still really spectacular. The ceilings are gorgeous. The stained glass is really pretty.
And then we went into another museum, which was like circus relics from back when they used to tour. And I have to say that was probably the coolest thing to see. Like those intricate hand-carved
the wood crates and stuff. Yeah.
Like I don't even know what else to call them, but they were just like, to think you would see that rolling through your town at some point, and that was the only advertisement that they really had,
right?
Outside of like word of mouth.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. That was definitely cool to see. The sun is finally starting to go down.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night on the river.
We're gonna go to the other side, I think, at some point, maybe.
Yeah. We have whenever the alarm goes off. So maybe we'll show you some pictures of the road.
Let's see. Take you with me. So here's our view. This is the bridge right over here. going in this direction, that's the bridge. And as you can see, we're just like right off of 41 right here. And it looks really nice outside. Temperature-wise, it's not bad either. My feet. People walking. Just showed traffic. That was a lot of bikes. So many bikes. Well, it's 7:30. My alarm just went off. Walk to the other side and go see if we can catch the sunset.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
All right, we're gonna go find the sunset.
Yep.
See you guys later. How do I stop